We are live. Hello, Lisa.
Hello, Kathy.
How are you tonight?
I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to do this and talk to the amazing group I have.
I'm excited to be here with you too. So welcome, everyone. My name's Kathy. I'm just playing a little bit of host tonight for Lisa because I had a bunch of questions for her. And I know that she has received a bunch of questions from you guys as well. So we thought, let's just do a little live and I'll do a little Q&A with her and we'll ask her some questions and go from there. And of course, if you have any questions that you want to pop into the comments below the video, we should be able to get to those. I'm going to try and monitor those between asking Lisa questions and we'll go from there. So should we just jump in? Do you want to leave a couple of minutes for people to hop on, or what do you want to do here?
I am not seeing Facebook on my end, so I don't know. I say we go ahead. I have a great group in healing your own epigenetics, or healing my release inherited emotional DNA group, and they watch replays. They watch my videos in the group as well as on YouTube. So I say we could just go ahead and start, and they'll join as they come.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. So let me just grab my list here. I'm just going to double check to see I can see anyone here in the group before we get started. There we go. Perfect.
Are we good?
We're good to go. I didn't want to ask a bunch of questions and realize we were just talking to ourselves. Although that would have been fun anyways, but
it would have been, but you know. So everyone go ahead, and if you have a question you want to ask me, you can put it in the chat and Kathy will see it. All right. And in the interim, she's going to ask me some questions. We're going to focus primarily on the questions that I've received around the masterclass on the 18th.
Perfect. All right. So let's get started with, can you just start by briefly explaining what emotional inherited DNA is and how it impacts us? I know we have a few new people in the group, and I thought it would be good just to start there, just to get that little bit of background.
Yeah. Inherited emotional DNA is our epigenetics, and everyone has this. It lies within the cellular memory of our body, and it's based on the life experiences of our ancestors. And we inherit many good things from our ancestors. We inherit our gift of music, our gift of art, our gift of math. We inherit these things, and we have to take action to develop them. But we are given these things through our lineage. And then epigenetics is the life experiences that they've had also get passed down in our cellular memory. That's it in a nutshell, Kathy.
That's awesome. I love that. So specifically then, how does inherited emotional DNA block our success or abundance? I've heard you talk about this quite a bit, where you're like, if there's a specific block in a specific area of your life, it's most likely to do with your emotional inherited DNA.
Yeah, it's a good question. And it's also a very it's a complicated question on some levels, because it's going to look a little bit differently, but there's going to be a similar thread in it for everyone. So let's talk about success, because success can mean different things, right, Kathy? It can be, we have a successful relationship with a partner. We have success in our friendships. We have success in the family dynamics, meaning we feel good, right? We feel accepted. When there is in success, when there's a block, it's when there's disharmony within us. And when there's disharmony, then there's disharmony externally too. So for example, let's take the family dynamics. You can inherit family drama, where family members, like parents, it just shows up as family drama in one way. There's a jealousy, there's competitiveness with siblings. A parent will have a favorite and you know it, or a grandparent will. There is this dynamic of arguing in a family. Well, those are inherited patterns. They can be learned behaviors, but we're going to talk about inherited right now, right? And then let's talk about money then for a minute. Money blocks are almost always originate with money. And it's not whether you had money growing up or not. We primarily think of money blocks, well, we didn't have it when we were young, so that's not who we are. It can show up that way. But money blocks can come in for a variety of reasons. I'm aware of a client whose grandparents were killed because of their money. So you put that in perspective. He wasn't born yet, right? He didn't have to live through that. But the impact of that was, I don't feel safe with money. So whatever money comes in, I spend because I cannot be visible. So then there was this fear of visibility. And when you think of, right, when you think of a family tree, there's a lot of branches in that family tree. And so what happened 7 generations or 10 generations back, you're not going to know consciously.
Right.
But it will show up in your life by actions you can't do. So you're going to procrastinate. You're going to make stories up around situations to stay safe. It's human. This is what we do.
Really kind of set me off on a little tangent here. So that's super, super interesting to me. So just when you said like how many people are involved in your ancestry, even 7 generations back. So if this pattern is reinforced throughout the generations, does that make it stronger in you? So like if you had a heritage of like very poor, paupers, slaves, disenfranchised people, will that actually impact you more?
It can.
Many generations back?
It can. And it's because you think of it like the snowball effect. Now, every person has their own choices in life. We're not being governed by this. We have free will. Everybody has the ability to move through uncomfortability, but we hit those times where we just can't. So we might have a great business idea. We can push through uncomfortability, get it written out on paper. We can push uncomfortability and file a business license so we can be official. But then when it comes to talking about it and being visible, taking action, so where people are going to hire us, all sorts of things come up and we don't get it done. Right?
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, I hear about this all the time. Yes. So, so what is the number one thing that you wish people understood about what exactly you do and how you help others? Because I think there's still a little bit of a mystery around what you do. With epigenetics, these are some words that a lot of people don't understand, but there's a little bit of mystery there. Like, what is one thing you wish people understood more about what you do and how you help others?
I think what I wish people really knew is that there's more available to them in their life. And it doesn't have to be more money. It doesn't have to be fame, but you can have more joy in your life. You can have deeper relationships with people. You can feel good about yourself. You can have a quieter mind and still be okay. Follow me? Like, I wish people knew that they don't have to live in icky space internally like they do. I wish people knew that you could change and feel safe about it. Right? And so I think there is this, I'm going to give a really quick example that's coming to me. I had a client that came to me. It's one of my favorite stories too. She's young. She was early 30s and she didn't drive on the freeway. Well, in Los Angeles, you got to drive on the freeway if you're going to function here. Okay. Really and truly. And she's blessed. She has a great husband that would drive her around, but she decided she wanted to not have so much anxiety around driving. And so she came. And it's the subconscious, everyone. It's your body that's going to do this. At least it's not putting hands-on healing on you. Okay. And people that do that, that's their zone. That's not my zone of genius. It's my zone of genius is to help your body's release. So clearing anxiety within this client's body around driving specifically, okay? Around feeling out of control on a freeway or a road with multiple people on it. She calls me up because it cleared, I think in 2 sessions, and she makes another appointment. And she came to the appointment. And I said, "Hi, well, what are we going to work on, so to speak?" And she goes, "Well, Lisa, if I can drive on a freeway now, and I never in my whole life thought I could do this, then what else is possible for me? And I'm here because I want to know what else is possible. If I can do this now, what else can I do?"
Oh, I just got chills. That's amazing.
What I want people to know. That's what I'm talking about.
That's amazing. I love that. I love when you tell those stories because they're so tangible. They're so relatable. Like everybody knows, they have these fears that are holding them back. And it can be something as simple as driving on a freeway or crossing over a bridge or, who knows, whatever.
Right.
Someone just commented, can we ask questions too? Yes, please. If you have questions, Lisa,
I'd like to know the name. If you'll give me the name and then the question, that helps me.
Yep, for sure. I will do that. So just while we're waiting, if some questions come in. So you have this upcoming masterclass on the 18th. And it's really it's more than a masterclass. It's a full day event. And what are you going to be doing with people for that many hours? I mean, what are you going to be teaching?
I am not going to be lecturing. I am not going to be lecturing. So you're not sitting in like boredom. You're not going to get bored, I promise. What I want in this masterclass is to teach people how to help themselves, Kathy. I want people to know and feel empowered on a deeper level. Because when you clear things within the DNA, within your epigenetics on that cellular memory level, and you learn how to listen to the subconscious, and this is not through meditation, and I'm not diminishing that. I do it on the calls. I do visualization. There'll be no visualization. I'm going to teach you a process to access the information that your body already knows. I will then guide you into learning how to do it, the process you take, how to release it, and how to replace it. It'll be a powerful day.
So you're actually going to be teaching some of your processes, your actual processes.
I am.
Like the secret sauce.
It's part of the secret sauce. I want people to feel empowered. And it'll be enough content to take that day. All right. And I think people are going to love it.
I think so. Wow. So I do have one question here from Sylvia. How many times does someone have to have something released or cleared for it to be completely cleared? And can you feel when it's completely cleared?
Nothing is ever completely clear. That's a good question. Again, let's go back to the family tree, right? There's a lot of reasons something gets passed. Like, let's take abandonment. Let's say there's one person up here in the top of that tree limb who had abandonment. And then they passed it on to somebody, and then they passed it on to 5 children, and then they passed it on, and it just starts expanding. And then there's multiple ways it comes through. We're not just from 2 people. So when you think of abandonment being, 100 times across genealogy, it's going to show up multiple times in life in multiple ways. And when we try to release everything at one time, well, first of all, the body wouldn't let us do that. The subconscious is going to protect you, and it will not do it. But when you take it based on I'm going to teach you how to formulate questions. When you take what the body gives you, and let's say it's abandonment, and you release that abandonment, and I'll be giving you a process to do that, then you can trust that one that came up is gone. But it doesn't mean that the body won't give you abandonment again for something similar and in a different area in your life? Yeah, it's a great question.
Right.
But abandonment might show up in relationships, right? Abandonment could then show up in business where you feel abandoned in business or something, right? Abandonment can turn up where it gets turned inward on ourselves and we abandon our ideas. So it doesn't show up in one way and it doesn't ever come from just one person. But the body will only release one at a time.
And I guess
have it be effective.
I guess that makes sense that it's an ongoing process, basically like any healing or any work that we do ourselves.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing, lifelong process. You just continue to get.
Right. And then when you start feeling better about things, you're going to hit another level. We all do. I know a lot of business owners that they hit their goal of a certain financial level, then they plateau off. Well, why is it then all of a sudden scarcity is coming up and they make a lot of money? Well, because it does, because we're going to another level. So the body will give us what we need when we need it to release it. And it will give us more when we reach different levels. I like to use the analogy of an onion or an artichoke. And we're peeling back the generational layers a little bit at a time. And with everything, it makes life a little bit easier.
Amazing. So, I guess this kind of goes along with that is, what changes can people expect after attending the masterclass?
Yeah. Well, they can expect learning a process that they can use on themselves. That's a big deal because then you have power in your hands to take care of things that come up in your life. Right. And I think that for me, that's very powerful. If I know that I have some control of my own healing, that I like that. And I want other people to feel that way. So the change is they're going to learn a process that they can apply to their life. And then they can do it for themselves. And I am going to be clearing
family and
this is a process for the person. It's not a process to work on other people. I am not, that would be my certification program. This is for the individual to be their own healer.
Perfect.
Yeah, good clarification there.
That's amazing. So maybe you can tell me, what is the best part for you about helping people release their inherited emotional DNA?
Oh, that's a great question. It's coming up with one reason that's my favorite, right? That's the heart. When we do something to help other people, whether it's helping them in a service project or helping them, whatever it is, if you're an individual who helps people by nature, you know how good it feels when you see that person receive the help, right? When you get the thank you, for me, it's the process of helping them, being in that space with them. And then the win for me is seeing life change for them. And right. And part of it though, is it's just the win in being in there with them, in being in that sacred space of letting go of things. I don't know how else to say it, right? So it's the process that feeds my soul too. Yeah, I love it.
So who would you recommend this masterclass for?
Yeah.
Be there.
Yeah, the masterclass getting full, everyone. The masterclass is for people that want to heal themselves. The masterclass is for people who could be even thinking, would I want to expand my business into and include healing? Even though I'm not going to talk about that per se in this is a good way for you to kind of get your toes wet, right? In the water and go, ooh, I like this. Oh, right. And then start doing it for yourself. So it's for you if it'll activate the inner healer in you, because I promise you that I can do that. It will help you lift burden energy so you can kind of have clarity about where you want to go in life. And it's for people that want change, right? If you have a fear of change, it can help you, but it's not for somebody who's just fine in their life and they think that they're fine the way they are. That's okay. Like, I celebrate that, but that's not who for this masterclass would be. It's for people who are looking to change and they embrace it. That's a perfect fit.
Will people get to work with you one-on-one at all during this time?
Yeah, I'll do some hot seats in here. Okay. I will. And I will definitely, and I will do group experiences.
Great. Let me just check and see if there's any other questions here in the comments. I don't see any other questions. If anyone has any other questions, just post them in the comments there. I just have a couple more and then we can wrap up there. And these were, just off the top of my head. So I'm sure after we sign off, I'll have many more questions. Maybe I'll post them in the comments too. Okay, so you covered who needs to be there.
Really, anybody that wants to learn and anybody that's in a service profession, because it'll give you a taste of what clearing DNA is about, emotional stuff, and it'll just awaken to you to what's possible in helping other people at some point. So if it's something you love anyway, then I think you would find it fascinating.
Oh, and you also told me that you were asked, is there a charge for this? And yes, this is a paid for event. It's
a paid for event. I'm sharing a process with you. And it's a full day. It's a big deal. You're going to get a workbook. You'll come away with, the process in writing that you can follow. And you get to, I'll mentor you all day long. So there is a charge. It's $297.
And the audios?
There are audios. So I am going to add on an audio on clearing inherited money blocks. And so if you are interested in that, I am going to add that on to this package for the masterclass. There's nothing in writing on it. I was just thinking about it earlier. And so we're going to do that. Is that what you meant, Kathy?
Yeah. So there's a bonus.
There's going to be a bonus between now and I don't know. If it's on Saturday, the bonus will go away Thursday or Friday. I don't know. You're asking me a question that I wasn't prepared to answer. I was just going to create a post around it. I don't know when it's going to end, but it's going to be a bonus. So there is an end, just like the other one came to an end. So my team might decide something different, everybody, but I do want you, my intention is for you to move forward in life. My intention is for you to get better in whatever aspect of your life, that quadrant of life that falls in. And so I'm trying to help you in all the ways that I can possibly do. That's viable, right? And so I am adding in a bonus here in clearing your inherited money blocks.
Okay, I was just going to ask you, what are the details of the bonus?
It's a hour healing.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, and I think that's all the questions I had. I believe we covered everything. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add? And I'll just double check one last time, see if we've got any more.
What else would I want to add?
Sylvia did have one more question. Once you learn how to do this, what's the difference between clearing yourself and going to a specialist? That's a great question.
Yeah. Well, the difference would be, say, somebody that's certified in my method, it covers a lot of things. And so there's more options to go wider and deeper. That's all. and there's more available. But what I'm going to teach will help you get started in doing it for yourself. This is a drop in the ocean, honestly. My certification is, a big process. It's a year commitment. So this is the beginning of that. And someone that's a specialist is just going to have the well-rounded, all the tools in the toolbox to be able to offer more. Great question.
Wonderful. Yeah, well, that's everything that I had for questions. And again, if there's more questions afterwards, if you're catching this on the replay, post your question in the comments. And Lisa is really, really good at getting back into those comments and answering those questions. So I know she loves to do that, and she does spend a good amount of time doing that. So I think that's it.
Okay, that was easy. That was easy.
I hope we get to do this again sometime. I really enjoyed doing this with you. So
yeah. So be thinking about, those of you that are signed up, be thinking about things that you want help with. What's a pattern that repeats? And so for those of you that are in that deciding mode, right? If you are deciding which side of the fence you want to jump right now, as you're hopping over, I used to jump over fences as a child because we all in the neighborhood played with each other in backyards. And so if you're kind of deciding, is this something I want to learn? Is this something I want to do? Be just pausing and thinking about life. And the way I like to explain it is one of two ways, whichever works for you. What in my life keeps repeating that I want to stop repeating? Okay. It can be procrastination. It can be anxiety, right? It can be, I make money, I lose money. It can be whatever. It doesn't matter. There's not one thing better than another. It's an awareness of what do you want to stop? It can be, I want to stop eating sugar. I want to stop overeating. I want to stop comparing myself to other people. The list can go on forever, but it's what I can create a list. I don't want your list to go on forever. I'm just saying it can include anything. That's one way to think about it. The other way is like my client that came to me. What else is possible in my life? I've thought about doing this or that, and I get nervous. So maybe, it'd be like, what would life look like if you cleared those blocks so that you could have more clarity in your life? Because I'll tell you what, it is life-changing. It is a game changer to existence on planet Earth when you love doing what you do. It changes everything. Relationships change. Everything changes when you love doing what you do. And that's what I want for you, is to love what you're doing. I want to help make that happen by teaching you part of this process. So amazing. Say yes to yourself. You're not saying yes to Lisa. You're saying yes to you. And I'll see you on the 18th.
I'll see you on the 18th. All right. Thanks so much, Lisa. Have a great night.
Thank you, everyone. Let me know if you watch live or on the replay.
Bye.
Bye.